This is the Washington Times front page for Tuesday, December 2nd, 2025. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. President Trump huddled with his national security team amid a growing firestorm about a deadly follow-on strike by U.S. forces on a Venezuelan boat suspected of carrying drugs through international waters. Ben Wolfgang, Tom Howe, and Mary Bell report the White House said Admiral Frank Mitch Bradley, head of U.S. Special Operations Command, issued the order for the second strike on the boat on September 2nd. The Trump administration has argued the second strike was fully justified. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said Bradley was well within his authority to order the second attack during one of the first U.S. military operations targeting alleged drug-carrying boats in the waters off of Central and South America. Congressional lawmakers in both parties want a full accounting of the episode, in which the military appeared to conduct a second strike to eliminate 2 men on the boat who survived the first strike. They are worried the incident could amount to a war crime. Global demand for arms and a depleted U.S. stockpile of long-range weapons are driving a surge in the American defense industry's production of rockets and missiles. John Seward reports key manufacturers are pushing millions of dollars into new and revamped production lines to resupply the U.S. arsenal after transfers to Israel, Ukraine, and other countries. The Pentagon and Congress are encouraging companies to deliver finished products as soon as possible, even if that means building without final, signed government contracts. The output capacity of the rocket supply chain in 2026 is on track to be nearly 6 times the current production for large, solid rocket motors. A growing number of Americans are taking on second, third, and even fourth jobs to offset inflation and stagnant wages. Labor experts call it polywork, and Sean Salai reports they say it makes the past practice of moonlighting look downright quaint in today's gig economy. Polywork escalates the more recent notion of a side hustle, which often refers to young people working multiple part-time jobs that collectively add up to a full-time income. The Bureau of Labor Statistics estimates that 5.2% of workers, or 8.4 million adults, hold more than one job, up from 5% in 2024 and higher than the historical norm. Sales of electric vehicles have dropped after President Trump and congressional Republicans eliminated a tax credit for the cars. Susan Ferricchio reports the latest numbers provided by Cox Automotive show dealers sold 74,835 electric vehicles last month, a drop of more than 48% since September, the final month the federal tax credit was available for EV purchases. Along with ending the $7,500 tax credit, the Republican-led Congress removed the penalty for automakers that failed to meet corporate average fuel economy standards. The policy changes and elimination of subsidies are expected to significantly curb EV sales further next year. And finally, liberal activists are noticing a growing number of young Democrats disenchanted with the party's older leaders. Mallory Wilson reports the younger Democrats say the old guard isn't solving the country's problems and doesn't share their increasingly favorable views of socialist policies. The Democratic Party's image eroded to its lowest point in more than 30 years, with 63% of voters expressing an unfavorable view, according to a Wall Street Journal poll conducted earlier this year. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us on social media at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.